So, we got Stone here. You want to say a little thing, like introduce yourself.
Oh, I guess I'm Stone.
There you go.
Went to Bishops like you guys.
Yep.
Man, I don't know what else to say.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Well, we'll get into the meat.
We'll
we just wanted a quick introduction.
Yeah, that's just me right now.
That's
Basic
just you right
guy.
now.
That's it.
Okay, so for the first segment, we got Take a Drink and Think.
Trademarked.
Trademark. We got a special one this time. We got the non-alkies for the water drinkers.
I'm not looking forward to this.
I'm not either at all. Okay, so
how do you say this?
I don't know.
Bavaria?
She
This
drinks.
looks like the one, I thought this was the one in Quebec.
with
Bavaria?
alcohol.
I thought this was Paps.
What is it? Yeah, facts. This is 0%.
Holland. Okay, shout out to Holland.
All right, so again, we're going to start us off with Take a Drink and Think, which is ask you some quick icebreakers just to get the conversation rolling.
Sounds good.
All right?
So,
the first question is, where do you not mind waiting?
Waiting?
Yeah.
Take a drink and think.
just take your time and take your time and rewind.
At a bus stop. I don't mind waiting at a bus stop.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
it's just
mind.
okay for you.
Yeah, it's just okay. I'm so used to taking the bus that I have to go there early because you never know. The bus can either be early, late. It's never on time.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I don't
Really?
mind waiting there. Yeah.
So, like, not even like you were going to a basketball game. Raptors are playing. Ooh, game 6 of the playoffs, and you got to wait outside before the ticket gate opens. You'd rather wait at a bus stop than something like that.
I don't mind waiting there. Like, you can get tickets online. Like, you can get anything online. Like, I can't wait. Like, the bus is not going to pick me up virtually. So I got to physically go there.
So
It's just so I guess it's just out of habit. I'm so used to it.
Even
That's
on
just-
those rainy days, those snowy days, you're okay waiting for that bus.
Yeah, that's fine. I know the bus is not coming on time.
Okay.
On those days. Even then, I'll avoid taking it. Like, I'll stay at home.
Okay.
that's the spot.
Soldier.
Yeah, that's the spot. Yeah. There's some nicer ones than others. I prefer the shelter and the seats. I don't want to stand there for 20 minutes.
Right.
Fair.
But yeah, I don't mind that.
Okay.
right,
I like
fair,
that. I like that.
All right, second question. If you had all the money in the world, what would be the first thing you'd buy?
That's a good one.
Take a drink and think.
Trademark, take a drink and think.
That's a good one.
Hey. All right.
Ooh, what would I buy? I don't know. Oh,
What does it taste like? It tastes like something. Take a drink
money.
and think.
Like you have to buy something, right?
You got it. First thing you'd buy. You just got the money.
First thing I'd buy. I'd probably buy a condo.
Okay.
Really?
1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 levels. What are we looking at?
Just me.
1 bedroom condo?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
sure.
you're not going to eat first. That's
No,
the first. You just got the money straight to the condo.
Bro, I've
place.
seen you
What?
eat. Are you
I know,
sure?
yeah, but
That's the
like-
You
first
sure?
thing you bought.
Yeah.
A condo.
This guy's buying a chicken farm, bro.
There's,
Just
there's a lot of things that are equal to that, but like things on the top of the list.
You're buying a
it's
condo. Okay,
Stuff that
for-
I can't buy right now with my money is a condo.
First thing,
So
so
that'd
get
be-
somewhere to live.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
where's that condo situated? It could be anywhere in the world.
Oh,
Where you living?
Oklahoma City.
Whew, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Fast.
small towns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
That
those
was
big
fast.
city, small towns.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really?
And I don't want no snow. I don't want none of that.
You've been
Yeah.
thinking about this for a while. What
Yeah.
Oklahoma City, yeah?
I love the U.S., man. I ain't trying to go nowhere else. I've been to Europe. That place is boring.
Oh,
Yeah.
you went to, where'd you go in
I
Europe?
went to Portugal.
You went to one place in Europe?
Yeah.
You said it's boring?
Well, hey, man, they're just not. I just went over there. They're just not built the same as people over here. I just can't. I'm not into that laid back mentality. Man, just go to the beach every day. That's not me.
Okay.
So I like to go places. I don't have to pay the duty on shipping up here. I can just get it straight down there.
Okay,
They have more
okay.
stuff.
Okay.
Weather's nice. They got all those sports teams you can go watch. Tickets are cheap. So I mean, it's just a nice place.
Okay.
I'm gonna go there. Speaking of that, I'm gonna go there next year. Check it out. So
Oklahoma
Okay.
City
Oklahoma
has
City?
got one sports team.
Yeah, I
other
love the
than-
Thunder.
That's it.
I love Thunder.
That's it.
I can go to Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can watch the Sooners play.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas down there, so I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be number one.
You're not scared about tornadoes.
No. I was in Alabama a few weeks and I had a tornado warning there, so I mean,
That's whatever.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to be an Oklahoma football fan then too.
no, it's just basketball.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're
that's how
living
you
there,
gotta
what?
go to the
You
Sooners
can't, you
game.
can't be an
I live-
Alabama
I live
fan in
Toronto and
Oklahoma.
I'm not a Raptors fan.
Yeah. Huh?
Oh, you're just a traitor then.
Hey man, I stick to my team.
Who's your team?
My team's Thunder.
Oh, okay.
I've liked them since they were in Seattle when KD was there.
Really?
And they moved
Okay.
over.
I like that. I respect
they
that.
moved
So
over.
are you happy about?
I feel like
Russell
you're-
Westbrook?
I mean, yeah, he
Are
play.
you-
I love the way he plays. He's just a head case on the court. Like sometimes he just takes
man.
like 40 shots in a playoff game. You're missing most of them.
Yeah,
They were doing well this year
Yeah.
until he
Until-
started shooting 100 times a
He
game.
just can't
Yeah.
shoot threes. I just need him to stop shooting threes.
Yeah, his
He's also
games-
making $200 million, and he doesn't play any other way.
Yeah.
Like, he's not conducive. Like Paul George, is the best player on that team, but
Yeah.
I guess Paul George is used to playing with him now versus Kevin Durant wanting to play that Golden State style.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook's not moving off the ball. He's standing there like James Harden.
That
less-
style
less
of
of a
point
shooter.
guard, it's just not the.
It's not the
doesn't
way.
work.
It's not a
right?
winning. It's not a
Yeah,
championship
like
winning
that's the
style.
Derrick Rose type of play.
It's
like,
fun to watch.
drive
Like,
to
don't get me
the lane.
wrong. It's great to watch in the regular
Yeah.
season, but when it comes to playoff time, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
gotta
that.
do
I
something.
like that.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Nice
Plus,
one.
Paul
Yeah.
George is my favorite player, so like.
There you
read him.
go.
Yeah,
There you go. He's a
baller.
he is.
He's a baller. All right.
What we got next?
Last question, a little bit more serious, but looking forward to the answer. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Oh,
Attention.
Take a drink and think.
Wow. Oh boy.
yeah.
Wow, that's very good. I've never thought of that before. I
Okay.
don't know. Like broad issue, anything?
Anything.
You have the.
You had the
you have
world's
this-
attention.
You have it.
You're like the Kanye.
Yeah. Let's
Drake.
see. I would say like since
Donald Trump.
I'm an athletic sports person. I'd say you can let student athletes make money off their image. I'm not saying you have to pay them because a lot of athletes pay, but if you're like Zion, you should get money for wearing Nikes.
Yeah.
Like you're a brand name, and like he blew out his shoe. What happens if he got hurt?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
an
yeah.
injury?
Exactly.
So I'm just saying they should make money off their image and likeness. You can worry about paying them is a different story because you always got those women's issues too. You got to take care about. But I mean, just making money. If you're a big name star, it doesn't matter. Like there's lower guys in the league that are not making money off image and likeness because they don't have any. They're not big enough.
Right.
If you're like a big star, you should be able to do that. I think
Yeah.
they're already having that emotion, so I think I'd bring that more to the forefront.
Fair.
Yeah. How would you, if you were to control it, how would you?
It's just like if
regulate
you're it's like
that?
an endorsement deal. Like if you're like just say European soccer, there's
Yeah.
no sort of you're 16 years old, you can get an endorsement deal right there.
Right.
There's pros coming from like play in France that are 17. They have Nike deals.
Okay, so you're thinking mainly endorsement.
Yeah, endorsement.
Not
No,
the schools.
Not the
paying
school.
that.
Not the school. Just like Nike,
okay,
Adidas.
okay,
Adidas,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
Because instead of you
okay.
trying to like have a bidding war as soon as they get out in the draft, you
Yeah.
can sign them earlier and cut the cost.
Yeah,
Sort of
yeah.
take a chance on a guy. I mean, more guys get opportunities.
Yeah.
Maybe get more signature sneakers out there instead of the ones that are already
Right,
on the
right,
market.
right.
So-
'Cause we've seen how high school players like Zion
yeah.
and
Yeah, even the
LiAngelo-
balls, even though they're
yeah,
not
the
signed,
ball,
but
yeah.
they're a big brand name.
Yeah. So you don't have to make it far for you to have a following. So
Yeah, exactly.
I do agree with that.
Plus,
I
you
like
give
that.
more players an opportunity to maybe design their own shoes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're maybe a Nike and you just want, you want to wear the Kobe's, but if you want to make your own thing, it doesn't hurt to try it out on the high school level. Not going to cost you a fortune.
Yeah.
Maybe you sponsor a team like LeBron James' son just got sponsored by Nike. So I mean,
We did.
yeah, well, they got a deal with somebody who's giving them all this stuff.
Okay,
First time
okay.
in AAU. So I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody. Even they do the same thing for football.
Yeah.
Maybe start bringing in signature cleats like Odell Beckham.
Yeah,
He's doing
yeah,
that. Get more players. So I think it just builds the brand a little bit more, and you can get all those more free publicity sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that.
Interesting.
Nice. That was a
So
good
that was
segment.
our take a drink and think.
Things.
Bavaria.
Area, huh?
Bavaria.
We'll talk about this one at the end.
Yeah. It's different.
All right. Let's get into it.
So now we're getting to the meat of it. So I know you introduced yourself as Stone and everything,
Yeah.
but I want you to take a little bit deeper into
Yeah.
your life, who you are, where
Who's
you
Stone?
grew up.
Okay.
What are you heading to do? I know you talked to us a little about it, but
Yeah.
give
Let's
the
hear it.
listeners a little bit of an idea.
So I'll just start off. I was born in Brampton. Grew up in Brampton. Actually, I was born at that hospital, the new one that just got rebuilt.
Same
Okay.
here,
Hill
same
Memorial.
here,
Yeah,
same
the old
here.
one where they had a ramp in the back. Now it's a hill.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shout
okay,
out to my
okay.
wife. She works there.
Okay.
Great hospital.
Shout outs.
We want to keep those visits as limited as possible. But yeah, born over there. Lived near the Mayfield area. Started off where that water tower is, and now moved
Yep.
a little bit west, where those newer houses are.
Yep.
And Brampton's just grown since I've been born.
Yeah.
Before it's
yeah.
like City Hall was maybe in a few blocks down, and now it's like God knows where.
Yeah.
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 You got high schools open up left, right, and center. You got
Exactly.
you got a school on this corner, school on that corner.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and then I started playing some sports when I was young. I can't remember much back then, but I know that I started playing football at 6, and that was the best sport. I mean, it's cold when you're at Brampton. Bulldogs was a little different back then.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
Mississippi
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Jacuzzi Park was grass.
Yeah.
The field was just brutal.
Yeah.
Now they got that new turf field, a lot better. So I started playing that until I was about maybe got to university. Went to high school in Notre Dame. I had some choices to go. Tried to transfer to Rock actually when I was in grade 10 because I didn't want to run the double wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
People recruited me as a running back. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like 150.
Yeah.
Why am I
Yeah.
running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got accepted in everything, but the principal said he couldn't let me go because my sister was there, and I was trying to just make it easier for my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So
Your sister was at Notre Dame or
she's
Rock?
at Rock.
Oh,
Rock's
okay.
program.
That'd be a lot
I
easier,
already
yeah.
met the coaches and everything. They're like, yeah, we can get you in, and then the principal's like, no, we can't.
Oh wow.
So I mean, I stayed at Notre Dame, ran the double wing the next 2 years, and recruiting just went like this.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I had like some, at least playing with Bulldogs, you get some connections playing with having coaches that are in the CIS now. I know you know Coach Nate, you know him too. Get some other ones that are in there. So then, I went to some camps in the States. My dad always loved going to college football games. So
Yeah.
I went to all those ones. Then I got in my senior year, I went to a camp in Pennsylvania, and I got a half offer from Duquesne. But
Yep.
I mean, US $52,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, I have my dad and my sister to go, so
Yeah.
it's not like that's feasible at the moment. It's
Yeah.
either all or nothing. I mean, it's good to get an offer. At least say you got an offer, so it wasn't bad. And then I decided to go to originally I decided to go to McGill because it was actually a last minute visit because I visited a bunch of schools like Western, Windsor, Toronto, York, all those ones, and then I was gonna make a decision, and then McGill messaged me like the day before I was gonna do that, and like, we want you on a visit. I was like, you know what?
Why not?
It's a free trip to Montreal.
Right.
It doesn't hurt to try it out. I don't know when I'm ever gonna go back there.
Exactly.
So I went down there. It was a nice city, beautiful. They play in the Alouettes play there, so the stadium was massive.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just the school's like, you know, top in Canada,
Yep.
one at the top at least. So I'm like, you know, the academics are nice.
Yeah.
Just a different city. Montreal is obviously a little bit different than Toronto. I just call it like a tighter Toronto.
Yeah.
Everything just so congested compared to Toronto, a little more spaced out.
Right.
So then I decided to go there, and then I realized, you know what, I need to stay closer to home. This has been like I love it here. So I decided to, you know, decommit from McGill, and then I went to UFT. UFT was like kind of a culture shock. Came from a high school with maybe like a couple thousand kids. Even elementary school was like maybe 500.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less than that. And then you go to a school with 81,000 students.
Yeah.
So like, my first class was like sitting on the third balcony, like the top
Yeah, I've
floor.
seen
It's like,
pictures
this is
of
nuts.
those
Yeah.
auditoriums.
I had 2 profs. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like there's going 100 miles an hour. You can't even like do anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like wow. And I didn't feel like the school program at least wasn't right for me. And UFT is like a very academic school, so they're not going to get very many like unique programs. You're going to get the basic ones that are just funneling you into jobs.
Yeah.
So then I decided, you know what, I need to go into a different program. I would have stayed there because the school was nice. I would have went to UTM instead. If I had the choice, I would have went to UTM and then taken a communications program.
Right.
Because there's a lot of players on the UFT team that are from UTM. They just travel back and forth. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew most of those guys. It was a fun experience. And then I was originally supposed to go to, before I went to Bishop's, I was supposed to go to Brock. But they said, you have to wait a year. So I had the second semester. I was at UFT. I registered. And then like, you're going to have to finish the second semester and then come the following one. But Bishop's like, you can come right now.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to graduate earlier.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that. When I went there, it's not necessarily culture shock. It's just you're downsizing completely. It's like going from a mansion to like once like a semi.
Yeah.
Everything's small. That like in Toronto, I could take the bus, go here, go there. Like I was staying in a hotel in Res when I was in Toronto. Yes,
For real?
I had like people cleaning my washroom, people making my bed.
Oh yeah.
I used to go to Eaton Center. Like 10 minutes before it closed, got the food for free.
Smart.
You go to Bishop's, you ain't getting none of that.
No, not at all.
Res is like
not at all.
old, and it's
Yeah.
like barely air conditioning. But at least when I was at Bishop's, I met a lot of like good people.
Yeah,
you had Elijah on here earlier. He was the first guy I met. Actually, I was standing in line getting my card, and this guy came up. He was like, "Hey, do I know you?" No. Then he comes. Then like I had my res, and I have this picture from like an All-Star game we were playing, and he's like, "Oh, that's me in the picture." I was like, "Well, I only knew one dude on the team."
Yeah.
I was like, "You're just giving."
So he was making no plays.
Yeah,
Like, he didn't stand out.
He got killed. He was like, first play, I remember the first practice. Coach said, "Who had footballs?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm paying for this. How do you mean you don't have footballs?"
Facts.
So then, I met him, and then it was a good experience first year. The biggest class at Bishop's probably like 100 kids. Even if I didn't
Psych
show up.
101.
Yeah.
Psych 101, I had about 7 to 10.
Yeah.
Those 3-hour classes, hated those, but you just got to go through it as a process.
Yeah.
And then as the time went on, you get to meet more people. Found some good roommates, and you get more Brampton guys going over there. So it just makes it feel more like home compared to if you go to a bigger school and it's just you and maybe one other person.
Yeah.
Because even when I went to UFT, me and one of my friends, we were like together, like going to commit to the same school together. So we and him went to Toronto, and then he decided he wanted to do something else. And then it was like, and he lived in a different res, so it's kind of hard when you're like, just say if Mike and you and Travis are going to go to the same school, and you lived on different res, but you two want to do the same things, you're on the same team, same classes. It's kind of hard to get that interaction, especially when Toronto's so big. If you're
Exactly.
living on, I wasn't even on campus. I was by Eaton Center.
Yeah.
The campus itself is on Bloor Street, where the St. George Ghost train station is, or subway station is. So that's like a 30-minute walk.
Yeah.
So imagine you living at St. George, you living at Eaton Center. Like it's just not
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So then Bishop's, at least I could walk to school, 5 minutes class, go to whatever, chill. I mean, it's good little town, but you get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
So,
Very
yeah.
used to it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
course selection was limited, but I mean, I wasn't in a big program anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was enjoyed my time there. Graduated. Yeah, I wish go looking back on it. It was a fun time. I'm not really one to party, so Bishop's is like kind of opposite for me. But you make the university experience what you want. So whatever you whatever you put into it, that's what you're gonna get out of it.
Right.
So at least the people that I met, those were the ones that made the university experience for me, rather than me trying to make it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the best part about it. And now, so after I graduated, or even before I graduated, I was working at the school newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the team managers, she wrote an article and thing. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it out. It doesn't hurt. No one's gonna read it.
Yeah.
So even if it's bad, it's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I started writing in there, and then started getting more interested. Started writing for some other websites. Did some other sports just to branch myself out instead of just doing football. and
Right.
basketball. The sports I know, so you can learn other things. And then started doing that. I was pretty good. And then after I graduated, I went interned at the Toronto Sun
Yeah.
for a summer.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
it's different working in a multi-million-dollar corporation.
Corporation,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're just a new guy. Got my own desk. So it was pretty cool. It's just different working in an environment like that coming out of school.
Yeah.
When I was doing it at school, I was sitting in my room typing it out.
Yeah.
There's nobody around you. You got like 50 eyes around you. People like, can you edit this, edit that? And like when I was in my interview, they're like, so what do you know about politics? And I was like, well, the reason I transferred is because I hated politics.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, I lost the job.
Yeah, right.
And then the guy's asking me, people we normally hire here have like journalism degrees and stuff. Since Bishop's didn't have any sort of that, I took all the classes that I could get with a journalism course there.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then they're like, we kind of hire these people, so I don't know if you kind of fit the bill. But I'm like, sometimes it's better not to box yourself into people with these degrees, because other people that are trying new things that have a different perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like
Exactly.
if you're
exactly.
taking, because all the courses that I took and even the majors and minors that I have, they're all transferable skills. Like it's not just if you take religion, like you can't do anything else. No, you know how to write an essay, you know how to critically think, you know how to research.
Right.
That thing can apply anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that's what helped me get the job. And then when I was there, it's just like, you got to prove yourself, because they took a chance on. They have like 100 applicants maybe. I don't know how many they had, but there's people there that have more credentials, more qualifications than me. So you just got to prove to them that they made the right decision. 'Cause they only hired one person.
Yeah.
That was me. They
Okay.
could have hired anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I lived with a family friend when I was there, to make it travel a little more closer. But then they had a family emergency, so I had to go back home. And then when you're coming from Brampton and going to Toronto, it's sort of like a discipline thing, because like I started work at like 7 or maybe 9, then I started to move up, because I always used to come in 2 hours early. And I used to sit at the top floor where the cafe is, because I didn't want to go in like 2 hours early.
Yeah.
It's just like people. One time I went in 2 hours early, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, well, okay, I'll just go upstairs, use the free Wi-Fi. So yeah, and then I started moving the time up, and then because I always, the way that I do it is like, if you're in a job, it's your first time doing it, you have to do everything you can to make sure that people around you notice what you're doing. So I would always to prevent me, because I took the GO train, so to prevent something happening from, I take the 7 o'clock GO train, I get there on time, maybe at like 8 o'clock when I start, or whatever time I started at. I would always take the train before. So just say I have to sleep an hour later. I'd take like the 6 o'clock train, 6:30 train, whatever time it is, and that would prevent me, or prevent anything from happening. Like if the train broke down, I still have time to get to work.
Yeah.
I don't have that excuse where it's like train broke down. Like somebody at work had a thing like, well, the subway broke down. Well, that's your problem. You're supposed to take the earlier subway so you can get to work on time. People come in an hour late, then they leave at the same time. That's not how it works. So, that's just how. That's just I could see that people there. Not trying to knock anybody, because everybody has their own agenda. But when you're coming from an athletics field, like you're just so based in competition. You're so based in trying to do what you outworking everybody, doing the most you can. And when you see somebody who's maybe not based in the same environment, they're just trying a little more laid back, not as serious. They're just they're doing the minimum, just to get the paycheck.
Yeah.
It's like my dad told me one time, like if you love your job, you could do it for free.
Right.
So the money does make a difference. Obviously, you need to have the money, but if it was in a perfect world, you would do this job without any say so.
Right.
So that's what I did, and then I got an article, wrote a piece about a guy going to Bama. One of my friends. I actually went down there to see him. It's pretty good.
Show them out. Show them out.
John Mechie, yeah,
There you
won
go.
MVP.
There you go.
Toured the Alabama facilities, worked out in their weight room. Thing's massive. It's like like royalty down there. So, I mean, that's a little bit different than we had at Bishop's. You know, a two weight room thing. But I'm not gonna knock it. I mean, you make the most of what you got.
Yeah, of course.
So, I did that, and then after that, they didn't. Well, I guess an internship. So, I wasn't really an employee there, and they were already cutting back people anyways.
Exactly.
Because it's no one's reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
Anytime you get the newspaper, you just throw it in the recycling bin, or you just have it on your phone the day before.
Yeah.
So they did that, and then in the fall, I coached at St. Rock because I had my sister's. The football coach I knew when I was going to transfer there. I knew him, and he needed some coaches because they were losing a bunch to new schools. So I'll try it out, help out. It doesn't hurt anybody. I'll see what the experience is like. Maybe because after I did the Sun, I was like, maybe I'm not suited for this desk job. Because I'm always sitting around, and then 5 minutes later, you need to get up and move around.
Yeah,
it's just not me. You know how those 3-hour classes can be sitting down there for 8 hours. A little bit different. So and then went to Rock, and it was a great experience. The kids didn't really know me at first, and
Of course,
Then you get to know them, you get to build those relationships, you get to see how they develop over the years.
Yeah.
It helped that I had some authority to make some decisions when I was coaching. So like put in these new schemes, put these players in the start, and I guess that helps. I guess that helped me compared to if I went to another school and was just like some ball boy or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was a good experience. The team went to the semis. I mean, should have went a little bit farther, but I mean that's just my opinion. Anything's possible. So I'm gonna go back there because you get to meet those relationships you build are a little bit more. They're just ingrained compared to if you're just working with a coworker. Because these kids are like they're going to university, and you can see how they develop because you're the first contact other than elementary school. Because most kids they go back to the high school compared to the university. Because university is more like a job compared to if you're going to a high school where you're there from 8 to 3 whatever.
Yeah.
So then I did that, and then I decided let me go into teaching because. One, it helps that the football coach told me it's $100K and teaching gym.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Plus you get benefits. You don't work summers, March break off, Christmas off.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah.
So, and plus he said that all these teachers now are like in their upper years, and they're going to retire soon. So by the time I get out, there'll be jobs. So I'm like, you know what? Plus you get benefits, you get all these other things. Because education is a need, not a want. So you can want to be a lawyer, you can want to be this, but realistically, if something happened, like there's apocalypse or whatever, you don't need those. So I was like, you know what? Let me try this. So I decided, looked into that career, see what I need to do. So I applied to York. By the time they accepted me, it was like Christmas, so I couldn't get into any courses because I needed activity courses, like basically like gym class courses. So I could take football, track, whatever, to get into the program. So I already had all the other courses, but Bishop's didn't offer those type of activity courses. They don't have that type of program. So by the time I got in, I was like, you know what? We don't have anything. Classes full. York's a lot more students than maybe 2,000 kids. So everything's as soon as you need a course selection. Bishops, you can wait a little bit, but at York, you're not there 8 o'clock. Good luck.
Yeah.
So couldn't do anything there, and then so now I'm reapplying to go back in the fall to do those courses again. But now it helps me because in the winter you can't really do stuff outside, and now I can do stuff outside. But then in the meantime, while I was doing that, I'm decided, you know what? Let me try something new with my life.
Okay.
So I was watching this show. Actually, it's not. I remember watching it at Bishop's, but then they took it off the whatever channel I was watching on because I don't know, maybe copyright or whatever. So I downloaded it, even though like the screen is flipped. So just say you're watching it like left to right, it's flipped around, so you have to watch it backwards. So like you can still get the gist of that. So I was watching it, and I'm like, these people look like who I'm trying to be. A person. Like it's hard to explain, but when you envision yourself maybe coming from out of grade 12 to how you envision yourself 4 years after university. That's how I saw it. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it. So that's when I decided to apply for the Navy. Okay. Actually, the Air Force was my first choice, but they're in Ottawa, and I have nobody in Ottawa. And I didn't know how to swim either when I applied to the Navy, so I took swimming lessons.
Oh, that's crazy.
Now I know how to swim, so it helps.
Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how long the process is going to be because I applied in November. Actually, one of my friends I played with, he's in the Army. So I was like, let me hit him up. Let me talk to him and see, because it's easy when you talk to a recruiter, they're just gonna tell you the good things. Like,
yeah,
I'm
of
gonna
course.
call somebody, a school recruiter, they're not gonna tell me what's bad about the school. They want my $4,000, and they're gonna go from there.
Yeah.
So I called him and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And funny enough, the job that I actually got, it was a second choice because I applied for a job that's more of a desk job, but they have these recruiting things online where you can see the jobs that you want. I'm like, this suits me, and I watched a show called The Last Ship, which is it's not maybe not a full comparison, but it gives you a little insight, like a little more sensitive, like dramatized, but you still get the idea. So I applied, and then I had my training or my testing in February. So I was testing like crazy. I was going to the gym like twice a day, doing all that. And I was overtraining. Like maybe they said the thing had to be a meter high. I put it at like 1.5 meters because when I saw the thing, when I went to the facility and I saw the tape for you have to lift up something to touch it for testing. The thing was like 1 mile high. I'm like, oh boy, the thing I'm using right now is like maybe a little shorter.
Yeah.
Then when I got there on the train day, it was shorter than what I thought. So it was a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's better for you to do more in your training. Like training is always better for you to make it harder instead of when you actually do the thing. It's like a little bit easier. They always say in the States like make practices harder than games if you go to a good team.
Right.
There's so much competition.
Yeah.
Coach is putting more on you because they want to make the game as easy as possible.
Exactly.
Just loose, you just play, have fun. Do all those
Exactly.
things.
Exactly.
So then I got, I passed the testing. They're really impressed. They haven't really seen scores. Like I guess there's people there that aren't like athletically inclined. I guess they have people there. I'm not trying to say they're not athletic, but they don't have that type of physique and that type of, I guess, coming from that type of background. So they were like, okay, well, we can do this. Then I had my written test, and like they had grade 10 math. I'm not good at math at all.
Yeah.
I haven't taken math since I was in grade 11, and I'm like 4 years in a writing course. So that didn't go too well, and I even told the guy because the job that I originally applied for didn't get because I didn't pass the test. I didn't really. They don't really. It's not a pass fail. It's just like if you qualified, if you hit the benchmark, like standard. So then he's like, you didn't really get this job, but here's 2 other jobs you can apply for. I'm like, you know what? First thing about the test. Like I haven't taken math since grade 11, and I'm more of a hands-on person. So you can't really like. There's different ways. You know those different ways of learning.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not one of those visual learners gonna like try and flip stuff together, and I have to like actually touch it. So that was more like a. I think it was more like a one-way test. But you know what? It is what it is. They want to see who can pass or not.
Yeah.
They're gonna knock it. So you just try to make the best of the situation.
Right.
So then I talked to somebody. Actually, the person that was running my test had the job that I was another job that I was interested in. So I talked to him for a bit, and he's like, you can do this, you can do that. So that's called the bosuns. You can do like work on little tugboats, work with weapons or speedboats, I should say, and then you just basically do everything. So every job they have online, you do a little bit of everything. They had another job where it's like you dive. I'm like, if I want to dive, I can dive at marine land or dive with dolphins. Like, come on, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Not trying to knock it, but like you can have much more experiences than that. And they said with the other job, I can do this one as well, like the diving as part of it. And they'll pay for the training. So I'm like, you know what, 2 for 1, better than 1 for none.
Yeah.
So I decided to do that, and then I've been training, working with my mom. So I work at 4 a.m. every day. Just because their schedule is like 5 to 11. For training, so it's not like you're gonna get used to 5 to 11 the day when it starts.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm already used to it's just getting in a routine. So you do that, and then I got an email maybe a few weeks ago because the process takes a while. Like I was sitting there, so I did it in February. You have to go through a medical to make sure that everything's okay with you. You're not there's no like these hidden injuries. You do at the combine, NFL combine, where they find like you have a broken bone, you have this, you have that. So they said I passed that, and then I waited a few months. Like any word. Sitting here, I applied to other jobs. It's just like, if I get this other jobs you apply for at a store or at a gym or something, I'm gonna have to tell them I'm gonna be leaving for 2 months.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, we're not gonna bother hiring you. So that's why I'm calling. It's like, I need to know before I apply these jobs, and then they call me for an interview, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna be here. Imagine you go to a job and first thing you say, I'm not gonna be here for 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just going to the next candidate.
Yeah.
So then I called okay, we'll hit you up at the end of May. Okay, perfect. So comes at the end of May, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great. So I wait a few weeks because I don't want to be that guy that's constantly calling because just gets annoying.
Yeah.
And I knew the guy. It's always the same guy that picks up. So I'm like, please, every time I call, please be something different.
Yeah.
So I called back a few weeks ago, and he's like, yeah, well, we're gonna we'll hit you up another 2 weeks. You're approved for everything. It just has to get approved by Ottawa or wherever it goes through. That's out of his control. So and then I got an email last week saying, oh, you've been accepted, and you have your enrollment ceremony, I think, later this week. So that's more it's not like a grad, but an introduction to what you're doing. So then I do that, and then I have my summer training, which starts in a few weeks, and that's all day for 3 weeks straight. So I've been preparing for that. But it's just something I wanted to try. You don't want to look back in your life when you're 40 and be like, I should have done that.
Yeah.
So. Plus, it's only part-time, so I'm still going to be able to pursue teaching. Still going to be able to do a lot of other things I want to do. It's not like it's a full-time job or going overseas and doing stuff like that. They said, you do what you want. You make what you want to do. Since it's a part-time job, I only work once a week. at least that's the schedule someone told me while I was there.
Right.
It could change, obviously, but I don't mind. Plus, wearing the uniform is special. Doing all that stuff,
Right.
like you see the patriotism. Not necessarily. I'm not saying in Canada because people say I say to people I joined the Navy like we have one.
Yeah, for real.
Even when I was looking back to it in high school, I'm like, you guys don't have football, you guys have nothing. Because it's different when you have, like, if the Navy had football, people would be lining up to go there.
Right.
You get paid education, like basically a full free ride. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting experience. Looking forward to it. I mean, it's challenging, definitely more challenging than anything I've done. But that's just the nature of life. Like, if I can pass this, I'm sure I can pass anything else.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
That's just my little long spiel of story. Little going everywhere, but I mean, you get the gist.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like you grow up playing football, and then you go to something happens where it's like, maybe the school isn't right for me. Like, if I were to do it over again, I wouldn't go. I would make the same decision. I would just take a different program,
Right.
and maybe stick with it a little longer because when you're 18 years old, it's like I was jumping right out of it. Like, this is not for me. This is not. But looking back on it, even when I left Bishops, I was like, if I stayed there, I probably would have been a little bit better off, a little bit more because it's when you're compared to. Bishops is a small community, but it's hard to venture out and make connections with people because there's not a lot of big alumni at the school.
Right.
If you go to a school like Toronto or maybe Western or something like that, they have alumni base everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and that I'm not saying that degree means something too. Like you worked with these thousands of kids going to these classes. It's like it's a lot of work that's involved. So when you get the degree, it means more. But now then it's like you go to this school. You know what? Okay, you make the most of it. You're a new environment. You live away from home for the first time, learn how to cook, do your laundry. Those are valuable skills that you need to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people live at home, they don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Their parents cook for them, they do the laundry, they don't do anything else.
For sure.
So it's just like, you know what? I got that experience, it was a good experience, and now I'm just going to try something new, see how that goes, and go from there.
With that, we'll take a
Take a
break,
break?
real fast.
Okay.
We're back in it.
We're back in here. Okay.
All right.
So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So just kind of going back onto that. So it's amazing to see like the growth of an individual going from a kid playing football to like kind of going through like the colleges.
Yeah.
Understanding like you had to learn a lot about yourself
Yeah.
through that whole process,
Yeah.
of course. Like understand like how to push your limits, especially going to like 4 a.m. wake ups to a workout.
Yeah.
Which like you tell somebody even playing football in university, they got to do 6 a.m. runs.
Good
And that's
luck.
like the most insane
good
thing
luck.
you've ever heard in your life, right?
You got to bang on their door to get them out.
Exactly,
out of bed.
exactly.
It's like
And-
a chore to get out.
And there's probably a time where coaches told you 6 a.m. runs, you're like, really? And now
I used
you're
to hate 6
exactly.
a.m.s, but now I love waking up early in the morning 'cause
Exactly.
I can get more stuff done.
It's like you get
Now-
2 days
yeah.
in one day, right? Legit.
Exactly.
4 to 12 is one day. Take an hour break. Then 1 to 9 is
The only
another one to
problem
go to bed.
it's not really a downside. The only problem is everything that you need to watch is at night. So at like 8 a.m. the Raptors are playing.
Yeah.
I'm already falling asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not, and then you wake up, check your phone, Raptors won. It's not the same watching the replay.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true. It's
That's the
true.
only downside, but I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
get in what you put out, or you put in. Yeah.
So going forward.
So I would guess your goals moving forward.
Yeah.
Are you gonna really pursue Navy or? Are you
Yeah,
gonna really,
I'm really good. Yeah, if I was like the choice that I make now are like I'm all in. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm half in, half out. Those don't really go in. Like if I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it would make sense for me to do it because I'm not wasting my time, wasting other people's time. Especially when you're going through a process where there's like 1,000 applicants, they're not picking every single one of them.
Right.
So, and plus all the time that I put in, all the work that I've done, it would make no sense to like be like after a few weeks, yeah, it's not for me. So,
Right.
No, you got to stick through it because you always read these stories online where people are like, oh, when I was 14, football wasn't really for me, and then 5 years later, the NFL making millions of dollars, and like I'm glad I stuck with it. So you want to be that type of person instead of being that where are they now story.
Yeah.
So I think that's more of an idea. And plus, looking at where I am now, more like I'm sort of like a late bloomer, sort of mentally. Like I feel I kind of learned a lot along the way. Like maybe I wasn't as confident as I needed to be when I was a little younger, making a little bit more rash, emotional decisions. Versus now, it's like take more information, make the best decision, and stick with it more because that's how you gotta do it. So I think that's how life is.
So will you still try to become a teacher, or are you?
Yeah, I'm still gonna do that. Yeah. So how it's gonna work is since the Navy job's at night because they purposely told me it was based on a school schedule. So
okay.
I can go to school from like in the morning. So I take the earliest classes. Then I still go to rock right after because by the time I get out from school it's like noon. So they start practice at like 3 to 5. and then I can still go there from 7 to 10.
Oof.
So I mean, it's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
you need that experience. Like right now, it's like sort of a grind, but that's how it's going to help me later on.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to.
Commitment,
Yeah,
right?
that's a commitment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's better to get this experience. Even when on the teacher's application, like, what have you done teaching
Oh,
wise?
yeah. Oh,
So if I have no experience, like, they're not going to
yeah.
accept me.
The Navy alone will be.
Yeah, that's like the biggest
amazing.
thing. I'm just not using it for resume thing, because if you're just using it for resume thing, you're just there to show face and
Yeah, you're not gonna
wave
put
high
100%
and
in
by.
it.
So
Yeah.
no, it's not like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna pursue that, and if I get a chance, maybe to go to the Air Force or try something else. I want to see how this goes first, but yeah, I want to see how that goes as well.
Okay. So seeing you like 5 years later, would you be teacher or would you be kind of
I'd be
involved both?
I still do it part time.
Even 5 years later, okay.
It's only 3 hours. So it's not like, and plus I'd be so like used to it by then. It's
Yeah.
like like you get. It's not necessarily the perks that you get. It's more like the commitment, the skills that you learn that are a lot different than any other job.
Okay.
'Cause when you go in a classroom, you're like, yeah, I'm in the Navy.
Yeah.
People are gonna respect you a lot more than if you're just I work at this XYZ.
So your title
And-
in the Navy
yeah.
would be.
It's it's like a bosun. It's a job that you apply for. So every job you apply for, the original job I applied for was NCI ops. So like, person that works the radar, gets to shoot those
Okay.
big cannons. You know,
Okay.
the ones that they see on TV, the star jobs, I guess,
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
captain.
Yeah.
Captain's a lot of work. Like, you got to go through like a 2-year training program. You got to go screening. You got to do all that. It's just like, I'm not trying to drive the boat. I'm just trying to be the person that works around it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So my job is to like basically do everything that they need. Do all the physical work, because I'm more of like a physically working out at the gym is like a similar type of job. I don't want to be sitting like behind a desk.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't mind doing the radar and shooting stuff, but like I can get outside and do some other stuff. That'll help me stay active as well. I think that would be a good thing, and hopefully I could do both. And then while I become a teacher, I can still coach football, because that's part of the thing. And the main thing with teaching is like just seeing the development of the kids.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. It's like there's no other job that's gonna, other than maybe a university coach, but you don't get that same interaction.
Right.
High school, you see them every day. You see them when they're 14. They come out when they're 18. They're two different people.
Yeah.
So plus you have that big impact on their lives, and I think that would be the best thing going forward.
Exactly.
So in terms of the Navy, though, you'd be stationed where? Would you?
Toronto.
Be, oh,
Toronto.
okay.
So I don't go anywhere unless I make it a full-time job, which means I can't pursue teaching.
Okay.
So I was not interested in doing a full-time job.
Okay.
And like for the Navy as well, just touching back on that. So like, what kind of responsibilities would you have within that 3-hour shift?
Well, I don't know, because I haven't done one yet.
Right.
So
Fair,
I
fair,
start
fair.
later this week, so that'll be my first time. I'll get more information as I go
And
there.
so have they given you kind of like a heads up of like, this is what you might be doing regarding like just
Well,
from your
when they
training and
said
stuff?
they didn't really show. I haven't seen a training session. Like I thought I would go there, maybe watch one, but it was just testing. The thing is, it's just basically maybe how to march, how to do the basics of what they're teaching you, and then they're gonna start getting into your job. Because first you have to pass the training before you even.
Yeah, before they can even
Because there's so much things you have to pass. It's like to get accepted. So I've been accepted up to this point. Then I have to pass a training to be fully accepted.
Right.
So I have one more step left to go, but at least maybe it's part time. It's a little different than maybe it was full time, but I think it's the same process that you have to go through. So yeah, it'll be a different experience when I go
For
there, I
sure,
guess,
for
and
sure.
See how it goes, but I mean, I've worked so hard to get to this point. So
Yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
You know what,
Yeah,
I'm ready.
push
I'm ready
through
for
and go
anything.
for
Right
that.
Yeah.
there, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I guess one of our last questions will be, I know you're dabble everywhere. Pretty
Yeah.
much, you do so much stuff. But if you did have to work, but you didn't need the money, what would you do?
Didn't have to work. So if I it's basically working for free.
Yeah. What would you do?
You don't need the money. You can do any job. What are you
Oh,
doing? Or anything. What would you be doing? Coach
I
high
was
school,
doing
yeah?
that for free last year. And I took it as a full-time job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was like the kids. They can see how much work that you're putting in, and they can respond a little bit more than if maybe you just show up to practice, do a few drills, and call it a day.
Yeah.
But if you're coming there teaching them the little techniques, and like even kids have mentioned me like. You just come out and help out here, help out there, but it's like you're so busy doing other stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can't really commit to doing all these other type of deals. Plus, coaching in city compared to high school, city maybe have two days a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
High school, I have every day to
Every
put new
single
stuff
day,
in. So
yeah.
like I can work on some of these technique a little more for 2 hours a day, for 2 hours every week.
Yeah, yeah.
Or every day.
Every day.
Compared to maybe 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I put one thing in on Tuesday, and then Thursday they gotta know it. And
Yeah.
The game's on whatever
Saturday,
Saturday, Sunday, and then
yeah.
the season's done.
Yeah,
Trust
I,
me, trust us,
I
trust
hear
us,
that.
yeah,
We're
we know,
dealing
yeah.
with that right now.
So it's like, yeah, that's why I kind of find the high school a little more. And kids I find they like playing high school
Yeah.
more. They enjoy it a lot better
Yeah.
because their friends are out. It's during the school time, so they're already there. There's no excuses not to come to practice. I mean, the coaches are on you. They love to get out of class. So any
Exactly,
sport they can play to get out of class,
exactly.
they'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just making forming those relationships and seeing how they develop, which is the best thing. And I think that's priceless.
Would you stay in Toronto, or would you go to Oklahoma City, or where would you go to coach if you?
I'd stay here for a job wise, living wise, just regardless of anything. Living wise, I live in the States.
Right.
But if I had the job and everything,
You would coach here.
Is there a specific like school that you would want to coach
I
if
coach
you were
in
to go?
Brampton. I'm from here. There's no point in me going to a different school board and trying to do that. Like, I already make some connections here, so there's no point in me trying to leave those behind and go to different. Unless the Peel district just canceled football entirely, then you have no choice.
Then you have no choice. Yeah.
I mean, you can because there's so many schools opening up. Like that new turf field on Beauvais. That school doesn't have a football team yet.
Yeah, John Augustine.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many athletes in Brampton and Mississauga that maybe they're not introducing the football yet. Or they're not,
Yeah, it's getting.
there's so much talent here that they're just looking for more development. Because by the Brampton guys, the biggest knock is they have talent, they get to university, but they're not developed. Coaching's just so bad that by the time there's other kids in other cities that are not as talented, but they're just more. The football IQ's a little higher. Yeah, they know what they're doing. They might not be bigger, faster, stronger, but they know to get to this spot in the zone. They know that coverage. They know this and that.
They understand the game.
They just gives them more of an advantage. Plus, they got people that show up to practice.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
For sure.
that would be teaching, coaching, same thing. Because I want to teach phys ed.
Yeah.
So phys
Play
ed and
badminton
social
all day.
science. Yeah, hey, that's not a bad. You can beat kids in
dodgeball.
basketball. You know how it works.
Soccer, baseball.
Yeah. Plus, you only work 8 to 3.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't gonna hurt anybody.
Shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so I guess we'll finish it off with your 30 seconds of fame. So basically, if you want to shout out anything, anyone.
Shout out to Mike and Travi.
Yeah, appreciate
I don't
that.
know.
Appreciate that.
This is new. And Eli. Recent grad. Yeah, welcome to the club. You're late and $1 short. Yeah. But I mean, this is great. You don't really see podcasts like this talking about people's stories.
Yeah.
So, I mean, something new to listen to. It's from the city.
Yeah.
So you can listen to. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, but it's more like guys in California, guys in Ohio. You don't really have that connection with. If you don't know, maybe you just know Staples Center or a few landmarks.
Yeah.
But here, I know maybe the park across the street,
Exactly.
Gap next door, there's
Exactly.
that. So
Exactly.
people are inclined, more in tune with the area.
Right.
So I think that's pretty good.
I like that.
There you go.
Thank you.
So finally, time to rate the beverage.
Time to rate the beer.
We got Bavaria.
I've never heard of this.
0% for people that didn't see. It's super wet. Again, no, 0%.
Yeah, I guess they'd have. It's kind of limited when you get 0%.
It tastes like beer, though. I'll give it that.
Hey, when you're drunk, you'll drink anything. So
I
that would be.
if someone gave me this when I was blackout, I would think it was. I would
drunk,
think I was getting more drunk.
Fair.
Plus, I guess you're on a budget. This ain't gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Well, the Four Locos are out of business, so that was the
Four
top
Locos
of the
are out of
line.
business?
No,
What
but I
happened?
mean they're not being sold. They're kind of off. The watermelon, the peach. Those ones were good.
I just chugged it.
You chugged it?
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, I can tell you that.
It wasn't good.
What are you rating this one, Trav?
Yeah.
Well, Stone, you can give your rating
I don't know,
real
man.
fast.
I don't know. I want to hear you guys.
Go ahead. Go
really?
first.
I don't know. Maybe a 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Beginner score. It is
Rookie
a
score.
beginner
Rookie score. What's all right? We
Nope.
like it. We
I'm
like
not
it.
used to drinking beer, so
Because rounded numbers. It's all right.
4.5, 5. Whatever you want to give it.
Too late.
So
Four.
we've done 2 non-alcoholic beers. So it's just sitting wrong, but
I'm not even chugging mine. I'm breaking my own rules.
I'm gonna give it a 2.8.
Oh my gosh. That's
2.8.
That's
I'll give
high.
it a 2.8
That's like saying some. That's like someone coming to your house. Someone coming to pick you up, saying, "I'll be there in
Did I
7
miss
minutes."
something?
because when I look at this, first of all, I'll never drink it again
No.
because it's non-alcoholic. Alcohol like this
Just
doesn't.
drink
Beer
juice.
doesn't taste good.
Drink
I don't
water,
care. It doesn't
man.
taste good.
Drink
Okay,
a pop.
so
You got water right there.
and it's not as good as the other one.
No, not even
so
close.
it's just that's a 2.8.
I'm not doing this one.
That's a 2.8 for me.
Yo, I give it a 1.9. And that's because I'm feeling kind of
Generous?
good
Generous?
today. Yes,
Generous?
like it was not a good time at all. Get the Budweiser if you're gonna get a
the
non-alcoholic.
Budweiser,
Hey,
You'll enjoy it.
Pro-
You'll
you get
enjoy
what you
it.
pay for. That's all I
Yeah.
gotta say.
Yo,
'cause
like
this was
Bavaria Bavaria is not very good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
You guys tried.
Oh my
boy.
gosh,
Yeah,
Jeff.
just
So
don't try.
if you don't
Saved
drink
a few
alcohol,
people
just
from
drink
some,
water
bad decisions
or
right there.
drink Budweiser. The
Just,
regular,
just
like
if
not
you're,
this.
just drink a lemonade.
Just
Don't drink this.
drink water.
Just don't
Just
drink
be
it,
healthy. If you're gonna be
okay?
healthy, be all in.
Good.
Like natural
Okay.
juices, all that
I've
stuff.
seen
So,
more and more of these, and like,
tired of this.
why are they doing this?
I don't know.
water
Like
I
this
don't
doesn't
know.
sell. Like if you're at a party and you brought non-alcoholics, you're getting kicked right out.
I'm drinking a beer to drink a beer. Like, I'm not drinking it for the
Can you imagine
taste.
going to a bar?
Come on.
You want a Budweiser? Yeah. Do you have that non-alcoholic?
Yeah.
Good.
Like if I have a non-alcoholic beverage, I want a pina colada or something
Yeah.
like that tastes
But those
good
are better,
without
though.
Or
alcohol.
make
juice.
the 0.0 smaller, bro. You're not trying to brag
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
drinking a non-alcoholic
Yeah,
beverage, bro. This is crazy.
You're gonna have the six-pack still with you
Oh
after you
my
have one of those.
goodness, man.
Those are not gonna.
What's the calorie count?
No, it's the same as a beer. It just doesn't have
120
alcohol, so
calories.
you're still gonna get your beer belly.
Yeah.
And you're not even,
What am I
that's-
getting out of
The only,
this?
It's
see,
nothing.
it's
Getting
like this.
fake drunk?
It looks like a
Looking
duck,
fake
quacks
cool.
like a duck, but doesn't taste like a duck.
Facts.
It tastes worse than the
Yeah.
duck, man. It tastes like a squirrel.
I don't like it.
I didn't like it either.
What's the best?
I like
one you
the
guys have
design.
had?
You know what? Give him some credit. Sorry, give him some credit. I like the design.
The
Design-
design.
I
Yeah.
like
It-
the
it
design.
looks like
it
Pabst.
does look
It
good.
looks
It
like
looks
Pabst.
really good.
Yeah.
The blue and the red, it kind of has an American feel, but at the same time, it stands out on the shot. I like it.
Yeah.
Not the taste.
It's a gas
the
station
design.
here.
It's trying to save it. That's smart. I rate it.
I'm trying to say.
We don't dog a lot of people.
Yeah, gotta
but,
Wait,
uh,
wait,
you know, like if you want a sponsor, I'm not drinking it. again.
Bavaria,
Put
we
some
will
alcohol
drink
in
it. We will be the
Put some
drink.
alcohol in it.
We
I'll
will
put
be
some
the
rum in the
drink.
drink. Like,
Give us a little alley, bro. We will drink
man.
it. We'll
Whatever
drink
it takes.
We'll
gosh,
drink it.
Whatever it
non-alcoholic
takes.
beer.
So this
kind
was
of life is
Stone.
this?
Yeah.
We really appreciate you coming.
Thanks for
out.
having me
I
on.
know the schedule's crazy.
It's gonna be
So,
crazy.
yeah.
Right now, I'm just enjoying, still going to the gym and just
Yeah.
taking my time off for like summer. It's crazy
Yeah.
because it's all day training for 3 weeks. And it's like, there's no way I have to go down and live in Toronto because there's no way I can stay here and get there at 7 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
And that thing's like near the water. It's not like Union Station
Yeah.
and down the street. No, it's like off the beaten path.
Yeah. So it's gonna be
So
a
we'll
mission.
definitely have to have you back.
For
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
for
sure.
sure.
You know,
Hear
'cause
about
I'm
your
sure
experience and your
people
stories. Yeah.
listen to this and they'll want to go the same route.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, that,
It'd be great.
I was probably in the same situation. I was googling everything I could find.
Yeah.
Schedule. I even looked at the Naval Academy in the States, see what they did. Their
Yeah.
schedule is a lot different because it's in the States, but it's like, you know what? It's the same like football here and there, same thing. They bleed the same, they dress the same, or different. The colors are different.
Yeah.
Uniforms different, but it's the same people.
Right.
They do the same stuff, so it's like, you know what? Let me see how this works. You watch these shows. You try and get all the information you can. Like, even if you're making like a university decision, you want to go to every university, see what's best for you, and then you make the best decision possible
Yeah,
for your
right.
future.
Yeah.
So I did all that, and then it's like, you know what? This is what I want to do. Let's pursue this, and let's see where it goes.
Okay. Yeah. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bold statement. Thank you once again for coming out.
Appreciate it.
For giving these people this wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And, we can't wait to hear from you again to hear about the
Literally,
whole
yeah.
training
Can't wait.
process and all that.
Yeah.
So once again, we got Stone here. Thank you. It's another episode of the Bigger Than Real Estate Podcast Happy Hour. We got Travis, the co-host, and I'm Michael Nelson signing out. Peace.